Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets Today. I'm Sakshi Patra, and on this edition, we discuss everything about the stock markets, how the markets have opened in trade, what are the big cues that the stock markets are tracking, where are the gains and losses being seen so that you are aware of what's really happening to your investments in stock markets. So let's start off with the opening action first. Of course, it has been a positive opening following the positive cues that we've been getting across the globe. The US markets ended higher, and the Asian markets also in the initial trading action were seen trading on a higher note. So the benchmark indices have started Tuesday's session on a positive note, aided by the 9% fall in crude oil prices recently. Brent crude now trading around $110 a barrel as well. So that's lifting the sentiments worldwide. And the Sensex has risen 223 odd points. It opened to touch the levels of 57,800 and above in the early action itself. The Nifty also opened higher by just 63 odd points at 17,285 and now is actually trading higher near 17,300 levels as well. Among the indices, the sectoral indices, you will be able to see that the Nifty Realty and the Nifty Auto are the lead gainers in today's trading session, about 1% up respectively. Also, when you talk about the Nifty Bank, particularly IT, consumer durables, these were the other notable gainers right in the initial action. The Nifty Metal on the flip side did see some kind of losses coming through. Also, among stocks, Asian Paints actually came out to be the top gainer on the benchmarks, Nifty and the Sensex, and that's due to the fall in crude oil prices. Over the last month, there were many occasions when the crude oil prices were really, surging higher, causing a kind of a slide to these paint majors which use crude oil as an input or a raw material as well. So that's something that you need to keep a track of. Aurobindo Pharma was down over 1% on the BSE. The drug maker has acquired domestic formulation business of another Hyderabad-based Veritas Healthcare on a slump sale basis at 171 crore rupees. So that's not going down too well with the investors in the initial trading action. Apart from this, you do have SBI Life, HDFC Life, UPL, Tata Motors. These were the additional Nifty winners apart from Asian Paints. On the other hand, you do see some kind of slowing down movement on Dr. Reddy's, Tata Steel, ITC, ONGC, Coal India, and Hindalco. So most of the metals and the oil and gas stocks, especially the upstream majors, seeing a downside in today's trading as well, and some of the metal counters also seeing some drag factors coming through. Also, when you talk about the broader markets, the mid and the small cap sectors, these were trading on a positive note in the initial trading action. The Nifty Mid Cap 100 index moved by 0.6% higher. The small cap shares also surged by 0.6% in the initial trading action as well. Apart from this, there's a whole host of macro and micro data that markets are really tracking. On the macro front, you do have news flows from Russia. G7 has rejected Putin's demand for ruble payments on Russian gas. And we'll just need to see and analyze what are analysts making of this news with respect to Russia's step of protecting its own ruble from falling even more. Indian government's total liabilities have actually risen to 128 trillion rupees in the December quarter. So that's something that you should keep a track out of. Also, when you talk about India's vaccination update, we do have India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage, which has neared 1.84 billion as of yesterday. So keep a track of that as well. India has reported 1270 new cases with 1567 recoveries and 31 deaths till Monday morning as well. Apart from this, you do have some of the other news flows that the markets are also tracking, and that includes the U.S. President, Joe Biden, actually $5.8 trillion budget pivots towards economic and security concerns. That's something that is going to be the overarching theme in the U.S. markets as well, and the Indian markets may perhaps look at it on a distant basis as well. When you talk about the U.S. goods trade deficit, which has narrowed in February and is still near record high, those are the kind of overarching themes coming in from the trade perspective as far as US markets are also concerned. So that's as far as the global update on the macro and market update is concerned. Overall speaking, you do have some news flows coming in from the primary market space as well. The 3-day IPO of Veranda Learning Solutions will actually open today. So for all the investors looking at newer stocks in the primary market or the IPO space to invest in, you do have another opportunity. The company will be selling shares at 130, 137 rupees a piece to raise about 200 crore rupees. It's a small token of raise that you're looking at in the IPO space. But in case you're looking, definitely go ahead and do your research on this front among stocks. Power Grid also will be in focus today as the company has approved an investment worth 821 crore rupees in 5 projects. And just like how I told you, Aurobindo Pharma is already seeing some action on D Street. It will be on radar as it has acquired this domestic formulation business of another Hyderabad-based company on a slump sale basis as well. Crude oil prices will definitely remain the big overarching news that the stock markets will continue to track. Of course, oil prices have tumbled sharply lower in the overnight trading session as China's financial hub Shanghai has launched fresh curbs to control the rising COVID infections. And there are fears of demand slump in China as far as the Brent crude is concerned. And we actually saw a crackdown of 9% on Brent crude. It was seen trading at below $110 a barrel as well. The WTI oil also tanked 7% to trade at $105 a barrel as well. So those are the important cues that the stock markets will be tracking today. Of course, we will also be sharing with you some important update as far as Ruchi Soya FPO is concerned. In a rare instance, we've seen that SEBI has allowed retail investors to withdraw their bid from Ruchi Soya FPO as well. So keep that in mind, and I'll keep you posted with everything that's buzzing on these streets. So do stay tuned onto Business Today.